Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's take a little peek at who is coming toward Libra. Six of Cups, a soulmate. Four of Pentacles, a soulmate who has possibly been storing up and saving up energy and thoughts and feelings for a long time. This is somebody who has a lot of memories, a lot of things that they'd like to either share now, even though they've been holding it back for such a long time. This could be mental images. This could be fantasy. This could be a lot of like positive vibes. But gosh, Wheel of Fortune and Ten of Swords. This is somebody who has recently broken away from some place that they used to be. By the way, there's Big Ben right there. Somebody could be from London, by the way, or just England, the UK. We've got it's so perfectly aligned. If I hold it right here, we see Big Ben on the card. We see it right above. This particular person, they could be with the major arcana coming in of the Wheel of Fortune. They could be either an Aquarius, possibly a Leo, possibly a Taurus, possibly a Scorpio. But there has been like all of these hopes, wishes, and dreams that have been stored up, in this jar. This is, their mind is like the dream catcher of everything they've ever wished for, all the kind of life that they've wanted to have. They finally feel like they're no longer, trapped like a bug in glass, staring out, wishing that they could have that. They finally maybe can approach Libra. They had to have ended something. They either had to move away or they had to be freed up so they could move away from an area. This is somebody I'm hearing Leaving Las Vegas by Sheryl Crow. But this is a soulmate who is coming back into Libra's life. They always held on to this idea that Libra is where they would want to be if ever things could work out, if ever this were going to be possible. We have for like a little bit more data about who they are, we have revolutionist, the champion of transformation. We also have, the justice being depicted here. This is very much like I'm picturing from Les Mis, the musical. This feels like someone, they could be a theater performer. They could be somebody that has, transformed their whole life. They had to have like a whole, when we say the word like one revolution around the sun, maybe they had to take a whole year and change many things in their life. Maybe it took them more than 1 year, but they have definitely, with that Wheel of Fortune, we know we have the cyclical thing with it. Six of Cups, again, soulmates returning. Everything talks about a solar return. So maybe this is like by Libra's birthday, this person will be back in Libra's life, but they had to change everything in their world. They may be somebody with very strong opinions as a whole. We have athlete. I don't know so much that I think this person is like some, Olympic athlete, but the seeker of vitality, exercise, life, strength, speed. I feel like this is not so much describing what they do for a living as it is describing kind of like what their attitude has been. They have been actively and probably like almost heroically changing the things in their life that they had to in order to allow themselves to make some changes. They had to end some other chapter of their life. That takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of, personal, like commitment, I'll say. I think this is a person who sets a goal and then goes after it. And one of the goals that they set for themselves, obviously, was I want to be with my Libra again. Tell me more about who you are. Oh, we have the teacher. This is the person who wants to marry Libra. This is the scribe in the Egyptian pantheon of gods. Thoth, the god of all wisdom and knowledge. He gave mortals, reading, writing, arithmetic, language, but he was also the scribe to the other gods in the Egyptian pantheon. And we have kind of like the night sky is depicted up above and all this written word. This person could be a writer. This person could be very much aware that they are the architect of their own life. They are writing their own life story. They have gained wisdom. They could be very interested in things like astrology, zodiac signs. They could also be interested in things like mythology. They could be highly educated. They could be, in academia in some capacity. But this is somebody who has learned how to like hear what their higher self is saying and then maybe translate it into something usable. But they could be a writer. And specifically, I do think that they care very much about the placements in their chart. They could have a strong Taurus placement. possibly like a Taurus placement in, I would argue, like maybe more of like a moon sign of Taurus, because oftentimes if we're writing something, that's coming from our subconscious. And so I would put that maybe as like a person who has a Taurus moon energy. Messenger of Cups, they definitely want to say things. They are composing some kind of an apology. Whomever is coming toward Libra is coming in first with very serious intentions. They feel like they are a soulmate, and they feel like they have finally gotten to the point where they can make their fantasies become a reality. Their fantasies are to be with Libra. Let me just ask, what is it that you want? We know you're coming in to say that you're sorry. We know you've been writing that. We know that your intentions are a long-term relationship with Libra. Messenger of Swords. And again, we have all of these kind of like the astrolabe, like we see the images of the stars, the constellations in the night sky. So we keep looking at astrology for this person. I said, what did they want with Libra? They want to learn more about possibly astrology with Libra. They want to, I feel like they like to use astrology perhaps as guidance. We see that North Star here as well. I'm picturing somebody who, like, I personally, I like, more than sun, moon, rising and other placements, I personally think it's fun to pay more attention to north nodes and south node placements, because I like that concept of, south node is where we came from. So we're born into this world already with some, general aptitudes and some lessons that we carried over from our last life. And so we're comfortable in that south node. These are the things that we're already good at. The north node is what we're supposed to be like, reaching for, trying to learn, try to push ourselves out of the comfort zone so we can evolve into the next version of ourselves. So, and those two signs, whatever the north and south node, are always in direct, like, opposition to each other on the zodiacal wheel. So I always think that that's more interesting, because I like any storytelling. I always like to know, like, how do we lean forward into the story and make changes and get the best possible outcome. And I feel like that north node concept is, how does a character like grow and blossom into the next version of themselves. So whomever this person is, they too may be interested in things like that, but they maybe think Libra has a lot of knowledge about that. They can learn from Libra. They can, maybe Libra has some kind of extra guidance. So they want to learn from Libra with Libra. We have Nurturer of Coins as well. This is actually the Queen of Pentacles, even though we see a king on this card. What they want with Libra, they want to be Libra's man or woman. I'm hearing, oh gosh, I just want to be yours. Arctic monkeys. Secrets I have held in my heart are harder to hide than I thought. Baby, I just want to be yours. I want to be yours. I want to be yours. That makes sense. That jar that they have, that Four of Pentacles, they have hidden how badly they wanted to be with Libra. Why did you hide this? They've hidden it from everybody. They've hidden that Libra was like their secret soulmate. Three of Swords in the reverse. They didn't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. How much they wanted to be with Libra. Who were you afraid you were going to hurt? Sacred Masculine. So this person may have been married to another person, and yet they were in love with Libra. And this could have been a situation where they didn't want it to be like, I am wanting to, remember they have a Ten of Swords. I'm wanting to divorce. I am in love with Libra, but I don't want to say that that's the reason why. They hid it from somebody that they think is a wonderful person, perhaps, but they... Ten of Wands, it's somebody that like the family approved of. It's somebody that maybe was a mother or father to their child. And it's like, I don't want to hurt anybody, but I am actually in love with Libra. I don't know that, please remember, these are fictional stories for fictional characters, but whomever this person was married to, it may never have been a love match. It may have been somebody that they're like, they deserve respect. I don't want to disrespect them. I don't want to cause them any heartbreak. I don't want to insult them, but perhaps it was more of a, like, this was an appropriate match. The family approved of it. Maybe they ended up having a child with this person. And yet it was, by the time they met Libra, it was like very obvious that Libra was their hope, their dream, their wish, their heart. And perhaps that's why it has taken time for them to, like end a connection. They may have even been going through a time period where they've been, divorced for a period of time, but they still haven't approached Libra quite yet, but they will be. This is like maybe they wanted to leave like a 4-month gap or something like that before they approached Libra, but they have been dreaming of this for a very long time. I feel like this whole process has aged this person. They may have prematurely graying hairs, or it could just be like they're saying, I can't wait any longer because how will I ever get to be with Libra unless I make that move at some point in time fairly soon? They are wanting to be with Libra. They feel like Libra is some divine counterpart, somebody that, maybe it's like it's written in the stars. I don't know how to explain this. I only know that this is my North Star. You are the place that I'm supposed to be, with the star here and then that halo or corona of light emanating from the back of the head. This is somebody who feels more at peace, more balanced in their masculine and feminine energies. They feel like being with Libra, they have a more harmonious energy flow, or that they will. They have a lot of unrealized dreams, fantasies, this image of how it will be to be with Libra, but this is a long-term relationship. They feel like Libra is the one they were supposed to marry. They may even feel like Libra was the one that was made for them, born for them. So this is who is coming toward Libra in this story. Any last messages? Magician and Liberation, which is the Judgment card. So this is definitely a reconciliation, but it's like finally they can manifest the real relationship with Libra. They could be a Virgo, a Gemini, or a Scorpio as well. And also possibly Earth energy, but this is more like, what do they want with Libra? They want Libra to love them. They want Libra to be their partner in every way. They want Libra to be the person they build a home with. They want Libra to be their North Star. They want Libra to teach them things about astrology. They want this whole life and to be in Libra's world. Wow. Okay, we're going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love to everybody. Bye for right now.